Yes, boys, good afternoon. So, I've got a funny story here to tell you, and it's also taught me so much about life and about how reality in the universe works that it's literally going to give you an epiphany 10 times over. So, I took psychedelic drugs, as you guys well know. I've told this story a million times before. I've taken acid, so LSD, and also I've taken magic mushrooms. Now, my most recent experience on magic mushrooms, I'm here by myself in this apartment right now. My girlfriend's off in Scotland, so it's just me in the apartment. I thought, you know what? Let me test this new batch of magic mushrooms. Now, of course, this is all in GTA. I would never do Class A drugs in real life, of course. However, when you take a psychedelic drug, if you've never taken one before, it completely takes you out of the three-dimensional world that you're used to, the conscious ego world that you're used to, and it puts you into a reality where, well, practically everything's merged. And that's when people take psychedelic drugs, you hear the funny stories about people hugging trees and stuff and saying, oh, me and the universe, we're all one. Obviously that does happen. And it happens on a lot of a deeper scale as well. So I took magic mushrooms the other day and I walked into this very kitchen you see behind me. And as you can see on the fridge over there, there's some Polaroids, pictures of me and my girlfriend, obviously. And I walked in here and it's weird because every single time I'm on a psychedelic drug, it's like I'm going in and out of different possible realities or cut scenes or like movie scenes. I can't really explain what it's like, but it's like if I'm looking at you now and then I look over to the right over here, this over here is a completely different reality with different lighting, a different feel, a different emotion. Then I look back over here again and this reality is whatever it was. Then I look over here, that's a different reality. That's kind of how it works. It's very weird and very interesting, but it's scary as fuck. I'll tell you why it's scary in a second, but I walked into this kitchen, I looked at the pictures on the fridge and I thought, I know that I know you because it was me and my girlfriend, but I also don't know who you are. Like I couldn't put a name to the face. I couldn't remember any memories of when those pictures were taken. It was all just gone. And I was floating through time and space. I was floating through different realities in the universe. And it was very, very fucking scary. I'm not gonna lie to you, but also quite intriguing. And it built my curiosity like nothing else. You know, I was very interested in where this would lead if I carried on committing to this world. But it taught me so much about how reality works and how we are all literally just connected in this universe. We're all connected on an energy basis. So the ceiling fan on your roof is just as connected to the universe as you are, even though it's not alive. It's an inanimate object. It's still connected to the universe because it exists within the world that your reality and your perception exists in. It's very hard for me to explain, but you just feel these things when you're on a psychedelic drug. You can also achieve this state of awareness and enlightenment via meditation, obviously psychedelic drugs, or death. They're kind of the three ways that I'm aware of anyway. How you can tap into what I like to call the void, which the void basically just is all these different realities that exist at the same time. Now, if we're applying this to real life, real conscious world, and how you can use this to your advantage to basically achieve whatever you want in this world, I'm going to talk to you how you can have any reality, you can be any person, you can have any external thing that you want. So all that money that you're trying to make right now, the girl that you're trying to attract, the body you're trying to build, right, the gains you're trying to get, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve in this world, you can have absolutely anything. And I'm going to tell you a fast track cheat code for you to get these things very, very quickly. Have you ever played GTA? And you know, back in the day, especially GTA San Andreas, bro, me and my brother used to play that. And we used to do cheat codes. And you know, you type in the little cheat code in your controller and then like a car would spawn in or a plane or a jetpack, right? This is what it's like. You can do this in real life, in reality. Of course, there is a physical time barrier behind it, but I'm going to explain to you how to do it and manifest what you want in the fastest way possible. So back to the story then, I was in the kitchen and I had this overwhelming sense of love and euphoria for my life and for the reality that I was known to, right? So I'm Luke, I'm 23, I'm in this apartment in Manchester, England. I've gone through these experiences of my life, these memories, these stories. Everything you think you know about time, what day it is, how old you are, the identity that you're attached to, where you live, all of these things aren't actually real in the grand scheme of the universe and the void, if you want to call it that. But they are real because you're physically experiencing it right now. I like to now look at life through these enlightening experiences that I've had as just one big game that we play, one big joke, right? It's like you're fucking a higher power. Your entity is a higher power. And you're all sat with your friends and you just keep spawning into this, which is real life, over and over again in different forms and different realities. You know, there's different people you can be, insects, you might be reborn as an insect. You don't know. That's kind of how I like to look at it, right? Now, I had this overwhelming sense of love for the reality that I was currently in. But at the same time, I had this overwhelming sense of fear and just pure panic of like, oh my God, I don't want to lose this reality. I'm so grateful for it. I love who I am. I love the physical body that I'm in. I love the life that I've built. I love this physical reality that I'm going through. I don't want to lose it. So I was really fucking scared. But it taught me you can have any reality that you want if you want it bad enough. It's all about what you commit to. And commitment, the simple word of what commitment actually means, is you're willing to go through the negatives to acquire the positive that you want. So if I'm committing to this social media career on the internet and I really want it bad enough, I can have it, and I can have absolutely anything else. If you want the money, you want that girl, you want that body, you can have whatever you want in this reality, in this universe, in this physical 3D world that you're used to, that you haven't experienced anything else other than this 3D world, unless you've done psychedelics. This is all that you're used to, right? You wake up as you go to work, you do what you got to do, you go to the gym, like that's all you're used to. You have this identity, how old you think you are, all of these things, but they're not real in concept of energy and reality. None of these things exist. They're just placements, they're placeholders that you live through, right? It's like a shell that you live through to gain experience and emotion and just to figure out how this made up world works. So the funny thing that I realized is that when you commit to something, you are saying to yourself, I'm willing to endure and go through the negative experiences that are attached to this positive thing that I want. So if you want money, or if you want a girl, or if you want a good body, a body's a great example, right? You break down the muscle fibers in your body, right? And you try and build a body. You have to break down the individual fibers in the muscle, which hurt, and it requires pain and discomfort and stress and everything else, right? And suffering in order for you to get the positive. But you commit to the suffering, the pain, and you actually enjoy it because you know it's a sign of progress towards the body that you want. But why don't you do the same thing when it comes to money or business or women or relationships or personal growth or mental health? You don't. You think, oh, this is bad. Why is this happening to me? I hate my life. It's negative. I feel fear. I feel anxiety. That's the mindset you revert back to when it comes to business or making money. But it's the exact same process. There is a universal law called the law of polarity. And I teach all laws of the universe alongside many other things that will help you live a good life inside of my School of Life. You can find that for a discounted price in the bio or in the comment section. However, the law of polarity basically states if you want something, you can have it. And you can have the positives, you can have the fame, the money, the success, the women, but you have to be committed to that reality. Because by committing to the reality, you're signaling to the universe, this is what I want. This is what I want to use this physical body to experience. I want to figure out what it's like to go through these things. But if you are committing to it, you have to be willing to go through the negatives that come with it. So the hate comments on social media, the problems that come with running your own business and being your own boss, the problems that and the stress that comes with maintaining a healthy, positive relationship, right? There's no light without dark. You have to understand that. That's point number one. You can have anything you want. Any reality that you want already exists within the cosmos of the universe, and all you need to do is just tap into it. And you tap into it by committing to it fully, both the good and the bad. That's step one, okay? What I've got here as well is a couple of notes. So the cheat code to reality for you to get what you want. Let's say you want to make 10K per month. You have no idea how to do it. You've never physically experienced it in this physical life before. You don't know how to make 10K per month. You have no idea what you're doing, right? How do you manifest that? How do you make that real for yourself? One of the best cheat codes that you can use for this video game of life to achieve anything that you want is look at someone that's already done it and simply just learn from them, be inspired by it. I wouldn't say copy, because your physical reality is a little bit different to theirs. You've gone through different experiences, different upbringing, your body's different, your mind's different. You're a different person, whatever that may be. So don't just blindly copy them, but take inspiration, try things that they're doing and apply it to your life and contemplate on it. Is this better for me? Is it good for me? Is it bad for me? What do I feel about this experience and this way of going about my goal? Does this align with me? Does this fit with how I want to do things? If not, no problem. At least you tried it. If it does, great. Keep doing it and replicate the success. So number one, best way you can quickly speed up manifestation and attract these things that you want and the cheat codes to life is look at someone that's got something that you want in this physical world and fast track that. That's why my School of Life down below is one of the best investments you can make, because money's not real. It's just, again, energy. It's financial energy. You put financial energy into one thing, it gives you something back. You put your financial energy, which is barely any, it's very, very cheap, into my School of Life for a little over $1.60 per day is how much it equates to on a daily basis. You're probably spending that on something anyway. If you spend it inside of my school, you can learn some secrets of the universe that we have gone through personally. So you can just see, This guy has the body that I want. This guy's got the money that I want. He's got the women that I want. He's got the lifestyle that I want. He has the mindset that I want, the confidence, whatever it is that you're trying to seek out, right? You look at someone that's already got it and you think, okay, this guy has what I want. I want that. I want to experience that physical reality. I want to know what it's like to be that physical man, right? What do? You look at them, you learn from them, and you apply it to your own physical reality, because reality is the best teacher. This is what people don't understand. They sit and think all day. What if? Should I try that? Should I do this? What if this happens? What if that happens? And they overthink in this loop forever. But this doesn't exist. This isn't real. It's all theory. It's all, just what ifs. None of it's actually real. So when you learn from someone that's physically got what you want, it's because reality has rewarded them for their physical actions. If you put your hand in the fire is going to burn you. That's the universe telling you, hey, this is what you get if you do that physical action. It's the law of cause and effect, okay? So if you see someone that's making 10K per month, you see what physical actions they're doing to achieve that physical result, and you replicate it in your own physical reality. You understand? This is the secret to synthesizing your time and getting what you want as quickly as possible. Because what you would do if you were by yourself is you think, I want to make 10K per month. Let me try this, let me try that, let me try this, fail here, mistake here, succeed here, try and replicate, fail again. You'd be going through this long process for years on end before you finally figure out how the universe works in this particular case. And then you can finally make 10K per month, right? But even after that, the universe is constantly evolving. It constantly changes. So what worked today might not work tomorrow. And that's why just having people around you that consistently do what you want to do, all you have to do is look at what physical actions they did in their reality and just do it in yours. And you'll get the same physical result, right? On a long enough time frame especially. So that's why the School of Life down below is one of the best things you can do this year for yourself. If you want to just shorten the time it takes you, rather than 5 years, it'll take you a month. Boom, you've done it. Because we've all done it. You can just come and learn what physical actions we did, do the same thing. There you go. You get your result. The universe is very interesting in terms of how it works. So the second point I've got here is fall in love with learning and being a student. Because like I said, the world is constantly evolving. And if it's constantly evolving, it means you can never master anything. What you think you know now might be irrelevant tomorrow, because the world is constantly changing. What works is constantly changing. How people respond to things is constantly changing. So what you think worked in terms of that sales call that landed you a 5K deal. I've had times where I've been on the phone with a guy, for example, bro, and we've been talking, and he's been like, yeah, I want to learn how to make money. I want to learn how to invest properly. I want to learn how to trade and make my money work for me. And I'm saying, no problem, mate. I can do that. We've got a professional team by my side that will help you with exactly that. You're on phase 2 of financial literacy, which is making your money work for you, investments, etc. And basically, long story short, I sold him on my mentorship program with me and my team, where we help him make a shit ton of money from the money that he's already got, rather than it just sitting in a bank account. Go and put it into something that's going to make you more money while you sleep, right? That's what he did. He took the risk and he paid 5K for my mentorship over the phone, just like that. Boom, done, right? That is me achieving a physical reality. I've achieved success. I wanted that goal. I wanted to win. I wanted to make the money, right? And he's also winning because he wanted to make money and learn from us faster than it would have taken him by himself. Great, amazing. So we're all winning. Now, what worked in that exact situation might not work next week, next month. So what you have to do, and one of the best cheat codes you can learn, is to be a student of life, is to constantly fall in love with learning. And I'm talking on minor details. If I hear a word on a podcast that I'm watching or a Netflix show that I'm watching that I don't know the meaning of, I'll ask Siri straight away, like, yo Siri, what does this word mean? Just educate myself, right? Or if there's a certain terminology in trading or investing that I don't know the meaning of, I'll educate myself and I'll learn about it. So even on minor levels like that, all the way up to literally investing in a mentorship, working one-to-one with someone that's already done what you want to do and learning directly from them. Just learning and never being egotistical to the point where you feel like you've mastered life. I'm a very egotistical person. I'm a very confident person. I believe in myself so indefinitely. Just because I understand how the universe works, I understand that no matter what happens, I'll always be in a position where I get what I want on a long enough time frame. I'll never ever lose. So that's why I'm very confident in myself, and some people can perceive that as egotistical, but it's not, because I'm still constantly every single day humble enough to learn, to educate myself, to read books from other people, to learn about what I don't know, to educate myself on things. I'm not cocky to the point where I'm going to be like, well, I don't need to learn from you. I already know everything. I don't need to listen to you. I'll listen to absolutely everyone. There was a time I was walking down the street after a night out. It was like 3 or 4 in the morning. And there was a homeless guy on the side of the street, outside of this corner shop. And he came up to me, he was like, oh, do you got any spare change, mate? I was like, no, sorry, bro, I don't have anything. And he was like, well, do you mind just, buying me a pack of cigarettes? Because he was standing outside this shop. And first I hesitated for a second, then I was like, yeah, go on then. Because I was going to walk home and just get myself a taxi, but I was like, you know what, fuck it. It's not going to take anything out of my day to just buy this guy some cigarettes. And I wanted to practice just being a bit more abundant with my money. This was way back in the day when I didn't really have much money. So I was practicing getting into that abundant mindset before I had money. And this was a very good way of me doing it. So I took that opportunity, went in there, bought him some cigarettes, came out, started chatting some shit, just, how long you been on the streets for? What do you really talk about with a guy like that? How's your day going? Like, yeah, well, it's pretty shit, mate. I'm on the streets, Anyway, we got talking and he was telling me about how one day he was lay on the street in the rain. And obviously he doesn't have a place to stay, doesn't have any shelter. And 3 guys came up to this one homeless man. He was just laying on the street, not bothering anyone, not asking anyone for anything. Let me just make the camera focus. There we go. And these 3 guys came up to him out of nowhere and just started stamping on his head, started beating him up, started kicking him. Just because he was there, just because he existed. That was it. No reason for it. He didn't provoke them. He didn't ask them for anything. They started beating him up, stamping on his head. And this guy was telling me this story about how this happened. And I said to him, how do you... that's horrible, bro. Number one, you're on the streets first and foremost, which is horrible as it is. But secondly, then you get beaten up completely for no reason by random guys, and you're still here to this day. You're still cracking on. You're still hustling. You're still trying to get cigarettes out of me. You're still going. I asked him, how do you get through that? Mentally, how did you get yourself through that? And he said to me, he had no teeth, so he said to me in a very funny voice, he was like, oh, well, I just tend not to worry about life. Just like that, like it was simple. Yeah, I just don't worry about life. I just enjoy every day. That's what he said to me. And I was like, fucking hell, mate, that's amazing. Because we walk around in our privileged lives. Obviously, I've worked for everything that I've got, but still, to some degree, it's very privileged, right? I didn't grow up in a background where I ended up homeless. I've always had my mum's house to go to, which is nice. I grew up in a very rough background, very abusive background, a very traumatic one, but thankfully I wasn't homeless, so we had a completely different experience there. But even him, someone that you look at and think, just some homeless guy, some random guy, has nothing to offer, no value to the world, so much to the point where he can't even get a job. Number one, you don't know his story, so don't be judgmental, and don't just instantly write people off, because you never know what stories people have, and you never know what you can learn from anyone and anything. So never ever get yourself into this egotistical, arrogant mindset where you feel like you're better than learning. Because God and the universe and whatever you believe in, it will fucking humble you. Trust me, bro. You will lose everything. Because it will show you, listen, you are the center of the universe, but you're also nothing at the same time. So don't get fucking cocky with me, boy. You know what I mean? And it will. The universe will slap you up. The universe will teach you a lesson. So don't ever allow yourself to get too cocky or too confident to the point where you feel like you don't need to learn anymore. Because the whole point of the fact that you're here, the whole reason you can never master life, because there isn't anything to master. There is no completion of the universe. There isn't like an end point where, oh, I've finished everything, I know everything, I know the answers. Because there is no answers. The answers are whatever you perceive them to be, and it's different for everyone. There is no objective answer. There is no objective to life. So you can never master it. So if you ever feel like you are mastering it, you need to take a step back and understand you know nothing. You know nothing. And that's not to say walk around and don't be confident in your abilities or your competence. Of course, I'm saying have a balance. Be confident, believe in yourself, understand that you'll never lose on a long enough time frame if you try hard enough. But at the same time, don't be too cocky to the point where you stop learning and you stop taking in information. Because that's the whole point of why you're here in the first place, is to learn, is to experience, is to grow. Okay, that's number 2. Fall in love with the journey, fall in love with learning, fall in love with the process of just becoming a better version of yourself. And that process will never end. And that's the beauty of life. Finally, the universe is your video game. You can choose what reality and what character you want to play as. So just like in the video games where you used to play and used to level up your character in GTA and buy that apartment and get that car and buy that garage and have all this money, Call of Duty, you used to level up your guns or whatever and get prestige and get dark matter skin, Fortnite, you used to level up whatever. You play video games, you used to level up your characters and shit, right? You played GTA because you wanted to experience a certain reality without the repercussions. That's how life works. It's just there is repercussions that you have to physically go through. And obviously sometimes that's not nice. But if you understand, like I now do since taking psychedelics, and it's opened my mind up to how reality and how this void works, everything merges into each other. So if this physical reality that you're going through, for whatever reason you end up dead, or you end up in prison, or something bad happens to you where you're going through a physical reality that you don't really want to go through, you must understand it's all temporary. One day it's going to be over, one way or another. Either it will physically just be over, or you'll die and you'll just be reborn and merged into something else in the universe again. That's how it goes, bro. So I don't really take life too seriously anymore. I'm just more about enjoying it and crafting the reality that I want in terms of this video game that we're playing, because it is all just one big joke. And it was funny. I went to a video once on a psychedelic trip video, and one of the comments there said, taking a psychedelic is almost like you go up to this higher room where you're met with all of these beings, these entities, right? And you're sat and you're talking to these entities, and this is spot on, by the way. And it's almost as if the entities are laughing at you, saying like, why are you taking it so seriously? You know, why are you worrying about the things you're worrying about? Why are you insecure about the things you're insecure about? Why do you care so much? It's all one big joke. And it's so funny because every single person who has died and came back to life again, you know, you hear about them near-death experiences or times where someone's heart stopped and doctors revived them and they ask them, what did you see when you died? It's always this kind of shit. I saw an angel, I saw God, I saw these beings, I saw a universe, I saw whatever it is they believe in, right? It's all different depending on your reality and your perception. But for me personally, I saw my girlfriend and her friend were talking to me as them in their voice, but they weren't them. And I was asking them the questions to the universe, and they were laughing at me. They were like, why does there have to be a why? Why do you have to figure things out? Why can't you just live and enjoy and be? And they were laughing at me as if it's like I should have known this all my life. But that's what it's like. That's what it all is. It's all just one big video game that you're playing. It's all just one big joke. None of this is real. It's not. It's all a simulation. Because one day you're going to die, and then what? Then what happens? You mold into something else, whatever that may be. You don't know. I don't know. There is no answers. You just live it. Just enjoy it. But the best way you can do that is by understanding that it's all a video game. And it really is. Test it. Go to the gym, level up your character, and see how the results in the real world change. See how women start to perceive you differently. See how people start to respect you differently. See how people start to take you more seriously in business deals just because you're in good shape and you have discipline to look after yourself. It literally is all just a video game, bro. You improve your speaking skills on camera. Look how people listen to you for 21 minutes, 22 minutes straight without even stopping. No edits, nothing. It's all a video game. And if you want a better reality in the video game that you're playing, which is life, you need to level up the character that you're using to play the video game with. If your stats are low, you can't do much. You can't meet those people. You can't enter that room. You're not high enough level yet. Okay? You can't get that girl. She didn't see you yet. She's looking at the other guys who are higher levels. That's how the world works. So do two things for me as a bit of homework in this video to show that you're implementing what you've learned. Number one, identify what reality you want to live. What kind of life do you want to go through? What kind of life do you want to exist in? And then also, number two, identify what character you want to be. Who do you want to be? You can literally decide, I want to be some hyper masculine fucking, you know, hardcore UFC champion fighter. And you can go and be that guy. You can go and learn how to be that guy. You can decide, I want to be the president and have power and influence over the country. You can go and do that. You can't be anyone else. You can't be Donald Trump because Donald Trump's Donald Trump. You can't be John Jones because John Jones is John Jones. But you can be you, and you can still live a reality that you want as you and as the physical shell that you're in and as the physical identity that you have, okay? But you can be anything. And I give this example all the time, right? When I was younger, I was making videos about dating and, you know, confidence and attractiveness and all this kind of stuff. And a lot of guys always say to me, what about this genetic thing that I've got? Or what if I can't do this? Or what if I can't do that? And I always applied it to my own personal self and thought, listen, man, you just have to deal with the cards that you've got. So for example, if I can't really grow a beard properly and it's all patchy and shit and it doesn't really come through in that hyper masculine way, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play the cards that I've been dealt, make sure I stay clean shaven and you know, show off the jawline and just play the pretty boy game instead. And that's who I'll be for a little bit. That's who the character that I'll play as. I'll play as the pretty boy with the jawline, the fuck boy kind of vibes, the curly hair, whatever. That's the vibe I'll play as. One day as I grow up and I get more, you know, bigger in terms of muscle mass and overall frame, and then I can start to grow the beard and the testosterone starts to kick in a little bit more. You know, maybe I start losing my hair a little bit like I am now. And that reality comes through. Then I'll play the hyper masculine, you know, hardcore boxer or some shit. Then I'll go and play that character. I'm still me. I'm still the same person. I'm just playing a different version of reality. That's how life works. So you've got to identify what cards you've been dealt. Don't hate yourself or hate your genetics or anything like that, because they're all unique to you and it's what makes you who you are. And your flaws and your imperfections is what makes you perfect. I know that sounds so gay and it sounds so like wishy-washy, but it's absolutely true, because if you didn't have the things that you had, you wouldn't be you. Trust me, take a psychedelic drug and you'll learn that shit. Because I started to realize, oh my God, all the things I used to not like about myself, all my insecurities, all the things I don't like when I look in the mirror, None of this shit matters, but it also does. But I love them now because it makes me me. And if I wasn't me, I wouldn't like my reality anymore because I don't like the feeling of being in a different reality that I'm not used to. You're used to this reality, and that's what's so beautiful about it. Embrace everything about yourself, bro. I know this sounds a bit like soft and whatever, but man to man, embrace yourself. You've been dealt with those cards. Go and deal with them and go and enjoy them and embrace them with confidence and play whatever role you want to play as the character you want to be. If you want to learn more in terms of living a good life, from dating to financial literacy to mindset and health to detoxing from certain vaccines, you can do all of that down below in the School of Life. You can click the bio and you can join today for a discounted price for a little over $1.60 a day is how much it equates to. Again, you're going to spend that on something. You may as well spend it on something that's going to absolutely change your life forever. If you want, you can go to my Telegram or my Instagram and you can go look at some testimonials from previous students and clients that exist within my school, and you can go and see what kind of results they're getting and see if that would be for you. And if you're interested, it'll be a pleasure to have you on board. Take care, enjoy your day, and I'll see you soon.